Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I'm here to tell you the top 10 tips of Lisbon. We have several videos about Lisbon. We made a compilation gathering all the best tips for you to plan your trip with the best tips, so they'll be quick tips, useful and not boring, so enjoy the video. And as I always say, don't forget to subscribe to the video, give us a like, and this subscription will help us a lot, and buckle up my friends. Well, starting with the list of the top 10 tips for Lisbon, that is, in our opinion, the ones that will best help you plan your trip. Tip number 1 is where to stay in Lisbon. What is the best location? This will influence a lot on your trip. You can do almost everything on foot and save a lot of time on your trip. In our opinion, the best neighborhoods to stay and that are the most chosen by tourists are Chiado and downtown Lisbon. They are in the same region but with two different names. If you put it on a map, you will see that you have Chiado or downtown Lisbon, so if you stay there, you'll be in the best location possible. It's in the region that has the São Jorge Castle, the Santa Justa elevator, the Praça do Comércio, the Augusta Arc, which is very cool. The Augusta is also there in the middle, which is a very cool street with restaurants, one of the most famous places, so stay there, you're close to all of this and you do everything on foot without any problems. It's a very good idea. The only thing is that it's a little bit more expensive than other regions because it's best and most sought after, so invest a little bit and look for it. There are many hotels there. A good hotel tip that we give is to rent as early as possible because it ends up being cheaper. The hotel works on demand, so the sooner you book, the cheaper it gets. We'll leave below here in the description of the video a link to the hotel search engine that we use. It's very good. It's the only one that has free cancellation with almost all hotels because it's the largest search engine in the world. So you already book yours, guarantee a good price, and if later on you find a better promotion, a better price, or if you want to change something, you can cancel. In this link here below, when you click on it, you will open the map that we have customized for you with the best delimited regions for you to stay in. It already has the filters from 3 stars up and the guest ratings from 8 to 10. So these are filters that will make you find very good hotels in your search. See which one is the cheapest, which one is a promotion, and already guarantee your accommodation in the best location. The second tip is with the tours. Lisbon has a lot of tours inside, so we divide this tip into 2 parts. A good tip for the tours is that you have to divide by region. What happens? In the first region that we mentioned are concentrated the main tourist attraction that you can visit in 2 or 3 days. You can visit them all very well. And there's another nice region which is Belém, where you have to the Belém Tower, which is the main tourist attraction in Lisbon. There is the Jerônimos Monastery, which is beautiful. You have to visit it. And there's also the Padrão dos Descobrimentos, which is a very beautiful monument with a museum inside. It's a very nice region to stay in almost all day, so our tip is divide well by region, because sometimes people say, I'll go to Belém Tower and then in the afternoon I'll go to São Jorge Castle, so we will spend too much time going from one place to the other. So separate them by region and it's much easier. These 3 you visit in one day and the others you visit in the other day. And there's also the Oceanarium of Lisbon, which is very nice and sensational tourist spot, and it's also a little bit further away, another nice region. You can separate them in another day. And another tip for the tours is the question of the tickets. Buy all the tickets in advance because it's cheaper. You won't lose time standing in line because sometimes the lines there get very long and you can also run out of tickets. The main tourist attractions there sometimes sell out in the middle of the day. They close the ticket booth, so you can buy in advance. There's the site that we like a lot and we always recommend. I'll leave here in the description as well. The price is very good. They have all the tickets, so you buy everything in one place. It's much easier than going to each site and buying tickets separately. You buy everything with them, and there are several nice tours excursions. There are excursions to Fatima, to Coimbra, to the Lisbon winery, so focus there on the organization of the tours and tickets because there are a lot of things to do and you have to program yourself in advance. The third tip is the famous pastel de Belém. It's the main food there, typical of Portugal and Lisbon, so you cannot miss eating a famous pastel de Belém. In any restaurant or snack bar you pass on the street, you see several. There are some with a huge display case full of pastelzinhos de Belém. All the ones we tried were delicious, but there's one that's the most famous. If you want to go, the most tourist one, it's called Pastel de Belém, and it's located next to Jerônimo's monastery. So reserve the day that you can go to the monastery to eat at the restaurant. Sometimes the line is a little long, but it's gigantic, so it goes very fast. We ate there, but we didn't find anything special. We found it the same as the others. We found it even tastier and more comfortable, some cozier, smaller cafes that we found in the middle of the city, and that also had very good pastries to try. It was very good, and we recommend that you go there. It's very delicious. The fifth tip is the rental car. So our honest tip is don't rent a car in Lisbon. A lot of people like to rent a car when they travel. We like it in the United States. In Europe, in Germany is very nice, in Italy and Portugal too, but not in Lisbon. We can do everything on foot. Staying in this region that we talked about, you won't have any problem. At most, you take an Uber at some point or another. So it's not worth it. What's very worthwhile is to rent the car on the last day in Lisbon if you are going to visit other places. We stayed 6 days in Lisbon, and on the 6th day we rented the car and left down there to the beaches of Algarve, which are beautiful. We loved it. It's a sensational trip. It's a trip that we totally recommend. So car rental is very good in Portugal to make these trips, to go to Porto, to go to Coimbra, but to get around Lisbon, you don't need to. So don't do that. Save your money, save your time, and it's very practical. The sixth tip we give for Lisbon is the internet chip. Buy in advance your internet chip so you can use your cell phone as much as you want. It helps a lot to search for addresses, to the GPS, to be able to search for places, to ask for Uber. It's very important to see the schedule of the places where the restaurants are, reviews, several things. It helps a lot, and to stay connected with everyone. Nowadays, nobody travels abroad without wanting to share with friends on the applications, on social networks, the photos and moments of the trip. And the tip is to buy in advance, which ends up being cheaper. Don't use roaming. There are several chips sold that are international prepaid. We know one that's very good, and we have been using it lately only because the signal and the service. We've had several experiences with others, and some of them let us down and didn't work very well, but this one worked very well in all cities, in Portugal, in Europe, in the United States. We have been using it for 5 years now. They work very well everywhere. The price is very good and the service is excellent. You enter the site, make the purchase, and in a few days it arrives at our house. There is a manual explaining everything very well. There's an application for you to check your balance, recharge if you need to, and then you get there and use the chip at will. It's the cheapest way, the coolest, and with the best internet quality for you to use and abuse of the information. The link I'll leave here below is the description of the video, along with all the other links that I'm mentioning during the video for you to search and plan your entire trip. I'll leave here all the links you need, so follow these tips and you're going to save a lot of money, especially in these parts. The seventh tip is about shopping. Many people think about shopping. Europe is not as good as the United States for shopping, but Portugal, in our opinion, is the best place in Europe to shop. The prices are good compared to other countries, and there are many options. Our tip is, if you want to shop, go to the outlet Freeport. It's almost an hour away from Lisbon. Some buses go there, or if you have a car, it's also quick. And there things are much cheaper, and there are all the stores that we look for. It's cheaper than the street stores that are spread all over Lisbon, that are usually a little bit more expensive because they are there in the tourist center, and that's where we usually go shopping the most. So there's no way to avoid that. So the outlet, it's the big tip for you if you want to go shopping. It's sensational. Our eighth tip is mandatory international travel insurance. For those who don't know, to enter almost all countries in Europe, it's mandatory to have travel insurance. In our opinion, it's indispensable. When we travel anywhere, even those that are not mandatory, we always take travel insurance because it's very cheap and covers several expenses. So for Europe, they require that you have insurance that covers at least 30,000 euros of medical assistance. It's a little bit scary because you think it will be expensive. What do you mean by insurance that will cover me with 30,000 euros if I need assistance there? But no, the value is very cheap because people hardly ever use it, and we have a price comparator that we use that's sensational and it saves a lot. It has the best prices. It compares all the insurance companies in the market, and it has a very strong negotiation because it's one of the biggest in the world with each insurance company. So the price ends up being much cheaper than if you contact with insurance company itself. So I'll leave the link here below. Use it. You put your date, put the destination, and the insurance are valid for all of Europe. You put Europe, so even if you go to other countries countries during the same trip, it will cover you easily. The good thing about this price comparator is that they already do a filter, and almost all the insurers that are there are trustworthy. They are the biggest and they are very good. Take a look here because it's worth it for you to have an idea. The price of insurance that we use for about 10 days of travel, good insurance with the requirement of 30,000 euros ends up costing about $30. It's very cheap when compared to all the expenses that you can avoid. The medical consultation or hospitalization abroad is absurd. It's very expensive. You can have big headaches, so make your own. Don't forget to use travel insurance because you're gonna need it. If you have an emergency, you're gonna be covered and fine. And the ninth tip has a lot of influence on your trip there, which is the season, the month which you travel there. Try to avoid the high season months because they are much more expensive and much more crowded. But if you can only travel in these months because they are also the months of fair, you will enjoy in the same way. If you can travel in the other months, you save a lot and you find everything a little bit emptier and you enjoy it a little bit more. The most expensive and crowded months are the European summer, which is July and August, and the end of the year, which is December and January, which almost everywhere in the world is high season. So avoiding these months will make your trip cheaper and more enjoyable. And the 10th tip is a very personal opinion of ours. If you like the beach, if you want to make a nice trip, get to know beaches of the Algarve. We did this trip the first time we went to Portugal and we chose to not visit Porto, which is a very nice city too. We loved it, we went there later, but we ended up wanting to go to Algarve because we really liked the beach and its sensation. We thought it was one of the most beautiful trips we've ever done in Europe. It's very nice and it's very easy to rent the car in Lisbon and drive down a couple of hours and get there at the tip of the Algarve. We stayed 2 days on one beach, 2 days on another, and we enjoyed every single one. Albufeira is sensational, Lagos is sensational too, the beaches are beautiful. So there are several nice beaches, several very nice hotels for you to enjoy the beach. We were with Clarinha when she was less than 1 year old, so she also enjoyed it a lot. It was very nice. So take a look, it's worthwhile to try to include it in your itinerary. Comment here below the video, that's nice, we like to know. If you have any doubts about your trip, add us on social networks and send us a direct message. We'll be glad to help you and give you any tips if we can. And here on the side I'll leave a video on how to save a lot of money during your trip to Lisbon, which is very good. It gives all the tips for you to organize your whole trip, saving a lot on everything. Some tips are already here in this video because we decided to gather up the top 10, but several others will help you and save to plan your entire trip. So I'll leave here along with the playlist with all the other videos from Portugal and from Lisbon too. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Your presence here always helps us, and have a nice trip, everybody.